So it was 2004. I had already been selling weed for 8 years by then. I started selling weed in 96. And this particular day wasn't any different than any other day. I had a guy I used to buy a product from. Me and him used to go to the shooting range together. And I was going to the shooting range to get my skills together because I wanted to be a probation officer while still selling weed, whatever. So I had my registered firearm. We go to shooting range like normal. I buy my pack from him. We go our separate ways. This particular day, same thing. Police pull up and I got some weed cookies in the trunk. Showed him my ID, my cannabis card, because I had a weed card back then. He seen all that, took me to jail. And that was how I caught my felony marijuana case. My whole point of wanting to be a probation officer from jump was to teach kids that look like me that you can work, hustle, get good grades, and still survive and thrive as a Black person. And that was always my goal. And I feel like as a probation officer, I can get that back to the youth in my era. And like I said, I didn't really realize that me catching that case was a barrier for me doing that because I couldn't do that then. I still give back to youth now, but I couldn't do it then. With me having that felony attached to my name, I couldn't get certain jobs that I would overly qualify for. So I had to work at the county. I couldn't really get too much, what's the word I want to look for? Advancement at the county and management positions because one, I didn't have a degree, but I also had a felony, you know what I'm saying? And they use both of those to keep you down, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, damn, what do I do? It prevented me from traveling. I was stuck with a 4-way search clause. Mine just my first offense. Never been in trouble for nothing, no priors, no nothing. 4-way search clause, anybody that's with me can get searched. I can get searched anywhere I'm at, driving, walking. So Black people aren't told a whole lot of shit, like a lot. I worked for Alameda County. That's how I found out about getting to have a clean slate program and different expungement programs that are free for felons or misdemeanors. You can get your record clear. And we're not told about this. I only knew about it because I worked for the county. The process was super easy, but at the time, I didn't know that it was that easy, if that makes sense. So the process for me was I had county cases. I had to go to the court in Alameda County, fill out a form that would allow me to get my record and then allow me to file to have these charges sealed and expunged. You get that court date from the judge, they approve it, you go in, you plead your case. I wrote a letter, got a couple signed letters from people I worked with for Alameda County. They, submitted on my behalf. The judge approved it. I thought my life was back. I didn't know that when the judge did it, he only approved certain parts of my record to get approved. Don't know why he did this to this day, but for whatever reason, he only approved certain parts of it. The way that I applied for my expungement was to have all my charges reduced from felony to misdemeanor, then from misdemeanor to dismissed. He didn't do that. I didn't have no attorney. You know what I'm saying? I did this all by myself. And at the time, I didn't read it enough to know what I needed to know. I just recently got my stuff cleared up in 2020. Just recently. I was like, it hasn't even been a year yet. 2013, when I thought I had all my cases clear, I was tired of trapping. And I kind of just retired, just stopped. I get a phone call from Mike Marshall in September of 2017. He called me and was like, "Hey, Tucky, you ever caught a case for weed in Oakland?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" He said, "Man, I know 2 sisters out of Atlanta. They're trying to open a dispensary, some kind of program in Oakland called the Equity Program, but they need somebody that fit a certain criteria for them to be able to apply." To go from 1996 to 2004 catching the case, to 2018 opening up a store in the same zip code I caught that case in, yeah, that was monumental for me. I learned that if I was gonna trap, it was not gonna be on a turf. It was gonna be pull up, have a service, smoke some of the weed that they just bought from you, and then go about your business. And that's how I always did my thing. So to be able to open up and be able to provide that store service that I've always been to the public after catching a case for doing that before, yeah, it'd be a disservice for me not to be able to talk to people about doing this and trying to do it and succeed in it. So, yeah, it's crazy. If it's something minor, clear people convictions up, because if it's going to hinder you from employing and being good to the society, it kind of you're setting me up for failure. I'm going to keep going back and forth to jail because I can't do anything but go back to jail because my record is so bad. That's all I can do. As far as cannabis, the main reason why all of that should change is you're getting paid off of it now. People can make money. It's legal. people's lives have been turned upside down by cannabis convictions. Like, I'm minor. I know people who had dime bags of weed that damn near got life. You know what I'm saying? I got 10 years of felony probation for $8 worth of weed. You know what I mean? Like, that was nothing compared to some of the charges that I know people, families ripped apart because of cannabis, and now the government is getting paid off cannabis. Like, no, you can't have it both ways. Like, it's of paramount importance that they let us, let everybody free and give them opportunity to be in this space with the right, education and whatnot. But we need to be able to have our life back when we get out of jail. We can't just go to these jobs and apply with the felony on our record. We need to have that cleared up so they can see that we're ready to come back into society and be part of the growing society. But we can't do that with the felony on our record. And a lot of us don't know that we have those rights to have our convictions expunged and sealed. We don't know. Blunts and More is a cannabis retail facility in Oakland, California, established 2018. My last name is Blunt, and it's literally in the same zip code that I got arrested for selling weed in 2004. It's monumental for me and my family because I come from a family of weed sellers, and to be the first to be able to do it legally and to be able to talk to my children about being able to sell weed legally is fucking amazing. So if you're in the Oakland area, pull up. We're working on opening some more locations. I have to have this feeling be with other people. I cannot be the first and only. It has to be other ex-felons that should experience owning their own dispensary. So that's what I'm working on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Cool. I'm Alfonso Tucky Blunt Jr., the first ex-felon for selling cannabis to now have a retail facility. Support expungement. Take action.